Oh my God, I'm feeling so focused right now. And it's not that scattered coffee energy focus that you sometimes get, but like a really calm, deep focus flow where my mind's not distracted and I'm just doing one thing. Now, you might be wondering how I did it. And in this video, I want to share the 4 tools that I like using to help me be productive and in the best flow of my life. So keep watching and let's talk about it.
Over the past few decades, meditation has gone mainstream, and it's especially powerful for focus and productivity. My journey with meditation really started when I meditated over 100 hours in just 10 days at the Vipassana meditation retreat, and it was mind-blowing. One thing that I've always wondered though is, how is this meditation affecting my brain? And thankfully, there is an answer. This is where Muse comes in. Your brain is constantly generating electrical signals when you're thinking, sleeping, or even relaxing. These signals can be detected from outside your head using something called electroencephalogy, or EEG for short. It's the same brain sensing technology that doctors and scientists have employed for more than a century to detect your brain signals. Similar to how a heart rate monitor measures your pulse like my wristwatch, the Muse headband uses 7 finely calibrated sensors. There are 2 on the forehead, 2 behind the ears, and 3 reference sensors, and they all work together to detect and measure your brainwaves. It takes this information and gives you feedback on how focused you really are. And initially I was really skeptical. Why do I need an expensive gadget to help me to meditate? Especially when technology is the very thing that is hampering our mental well-being so often. Wouldn't you want to avoid expensive gadgets when you are doing a reflective meditation practice? A group of researchers at the Catholic University of Milan sought to understand this very question. Would using Muse EEG tech every day for a few weeks show some measurable differences? And how did that compare to a group using a simple relaxation exercise with nature sounds? Well, their results were quite promising. The group that was using Muse showed an improvement in response times in a complex reaction task. And secondly, compared to the other group, the Muse group showed a significantly larger reduction in stress, a 16% reduction in perceived stress in just 4 weeks. Now, I said in a previous video that being productive comes down to how well I can self-regulate my tuning into focus and boosting fatigue tolerance. And this study matches my experience when using the Muse headband. As you're meditating, the Muse app will play storm and rain sounds if you lose focus, and birds chirping quietly as you gain focus. Now, over the last 6 months, as I've been using it over and over again, I found it's got to understand my mood and emotion a lot better, teaching me the power of not just blindly practicing something, but practicing in a deliberate and intentional way. Just like you have to really focus on good form when you're doing a bench press. This for me works in a similar way. And I also really like how if you haven't meditated for a few days, you will get an email reminding you to get back on track. Now, I initially had this, the Muse 2, but I actually prefer the Muse S2, which I recently got. They both work great. I think this one looks a lot cooler, the Muse 2, but the Muse S2 is just a bit more comfortable to wear, especially for long periods, and you can use it for sleep tracking as well. Now, if you're interested in getting your own Muse headband, you can use my affiliate code GESHOV15 to get 15% off. The link is also in the description. I think it's also a good time to mention my statement of integrity. The internet can be a shady place at times, and how can you trust what I have to say? Number one, this video isn't sponsored. No one paid me to feature their products or say anything nice about them here, and that will always be the case. These are just products that I love using, and as such, I joined their affiliate programs. The next one is Qualia Mind. Your body has an innate intelligence that can be supported and enhanced. And too often, we try and boost one thing at a time. We try and work in isolation when actually everything is interconnected. We are complex, changing beings with our own unique psychology. And if I want to be at my focused best, I have to understand that it doesn't just come down to listening to shouty motivational speeches alone or watching Ali Abdaal or Habits and stuff like that. I need an approach that works at all angles. I need to consider things like my inner chimp, my relationship to trauma, my diet, nutrition, exercise, sleep, all these different things that work as part of an integrated whole. In part, a lot of what happens in our body is the result of biological and physiological balance and imbalance. And this is where Qualia Mind and Qualia Night, get this right way around, come in. Qualia Mind is a research-backed nootropic with a whole stack of natural ingredients that help to enhance your focus, your memory, and your general mental clarity across several major neurological systems. And Night over here is a comprehensive sleep support that works to optimize your body's regenerative power at night. And I like to think of the two as basically a jab, right hook combo that I'm using the two together. The first week that I took Night, actually, I found that my dreams became a lot more vivid. I had a better deep sleep that I was tracking because of my Muse tracker. And I always find that taking Qualia Mind first thing in the morning, especially on an empty stomach, really helps with my deep work. Now, obviously, it's not a magic pill, and I know that they're both expensive, which is why I cycle these things. I don't take them every day. So I have 5 days on, 2 days off, and then when I run out of a tub, I'll wait a while before I buy another. Now, if you want to check it out for yourself, you can use the same Keshav15 code to get 15% off. And you can actually stack that on top of the subscribe and save option they have that you can cancel anytime to get more discount. And right now, they've got a special offer where you get a free bottle of Immune if you use my code. If you want to learn more about nootropics, I've got a whole video comparing the different brands out there, so click on the link in the description to check it out. Now, one thing I have to mention that most channels like mine don't even consider, a big chunk of how well you perform comes from inside. And this is something that long meditation sittings have taught me, that there's so much going on in my physiology, and that if I sit still enough for long enough, I can tap into the chemical reactions, the blood flow, the neurons firing, and it's all going on in here. Our biological and chemical makeup and health plays a huge role in being focused. If you're not getting enough sleep, for example, for 6 nights in a row, it's the same effect as being drunk. If you have certain deficiencies in micronutrients and hormones, you will feel fatigued and weak. And that's why I'm a huge fan of getting my blood work done once or twice a year. Now, there's loads of companies out there that you can check out, but the one that I like is called Let's Get Checked. And they've got 30 different types of tests you can get. Usually I get the advanced male test because healthy sperm counts have dropped by 50% over the last 40 years globally. And also the cholesterol test, as for men in particular, it's important to monitor your cholesterol levels. Heart disease is actually the most common cause of death in men and South Asian men in particular, and it's commonly caused by high cholesterol levels. We live in this amazing time where you can easily get stuff like this done from home. And this is the only way that you can get unique and specific information about what's going on in your body at a particular time and how that's influencing you. You don't just get a test, you get the results and you're on your own. You actually get a call with a medical health professional to go over your results if they're outside the healthy range, and they'll give you some great tips and advice on what is the most important part of this test. And that is what you do, the changes you make as a result of what you see. So if you want to check them out, use the code GESHOV30 to get 30% off. Now, fancy EEG tracking and nootropics aside, I just really like this stupidly indulgent productivity tool. And it's called Analog by a beautiful artsy design craft studio called Ugmonk. I know it's basically a fancy post-it note, but I love the feel of the paper. I love writing down my tasks and coloring in the little dots when I finish things. And I love being able to see that slick walnut wood sitting on my worktop on my desk. But all jokes aside, I think as much as using digital tools and tech is great, I love the simplicity of just holding an actual paper book in your hand, being able to write things down on paper. And sometimes I think we're guilty of overthinking peak performance and flow. And you can strip it back to the very basics of what do I need to do, in which order, and did I do those things? If you don't want to buy something like this, or you can't afford to, you can always just grab a whiteboard and pen like this. But for those who are interested, you can use the code GESHOVBX to get 10% off an Ugmonk product. So thanks for watching, and click over here to learn about how to stay focused for hours on end, and click over here to learn about how to be less lazy and undisciplined. Peace.